Welcome back. Well, despite his lack of experience as a statesman, Barack Obama still clinched the Democratic nomination. The world has been glued to this history-making race between a woman and a black man. His momentum came from his own internet social network. He used it better than any other candidate. But this may not be enough. It's expected that 20% of the hardcore Clinton supporters may either not vote at all or switch to McCain. Clinton's been more popular than Obama with women in their 40s, and Obama also lost out among the Hispanic vote. So the big question on everyone's lips, will Obama pick Clinton as his running mate, and does he even need to? Well, joining us again, our guests in Columbus, Ohio, Cliff Schechter, in Washington, D.C., Jack Berkman, and in London, Amr Hamzawi. Cliff Schechter, let me start with you for the second part of the show. Is Obama likely to pick Hillary Clinton as his running mate? I mean, some pundits, including former President Jimmy Carter, are increasingly saying he shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I think he'll make her some sort of a great offer, or certainly reach out to potentially one of her supporters. But in the end, when you're talking about what he needs to do to get that 20% to stay aboard, he needs her to campaign very strongly for him, among many groups of voters. You know, for example, Hillary Clinton has been very popular among women voters. I wrote a book on McCain that recently came out called The Real McCain. And, you know, the media doesn't talk about it a lot, but John McCain has you know, gone forward and said that he will put another Supreme Court justice, for example, like Samuel Alito, who's a very, very conservative Supreme Court justice on there. Now, if Hillary Clinton is with Barack Obama making that argument that one more Supreme Court justice and women will lose certain rights in our country, that's an argument that can win over Hillary Clinton voters. So she doesn't need to be on the ticket, but she must be there with Obama and very strongly touting him and explaining the differences between him and John McCain.
Jack Berkman, will people who voted for Hillary Clinton in the primaries vote for Barack Obama in the main election? Many are saying they won't. They'll even vote for John McCain. What do you think?
Well, I mean, going back to kind of the original question, I don't think Obama wants Hillary on the ticket, but I think he will need her. I don't think if the Clintons walk away from the Democratic ticket in the fall, I think it's doomed. I mean, Obama already has high hurdles on the electoral map, as I think we've acknowledged. If you have the Clintons sitting on the sidelines, I don't see how you do it. As you indicated, he's weak with Hispanics. He's not doing as well with certain categories of women as he needs to. All of a sudden, if you have Hillary on the sidelines. Now, of course, the big problem here is, what if you win? So the biggest problem, it's like cancer. It's like having a tumor. If you bring her with you and by some chance you win, now you have this tumor you have to deal with. It's like, you know, chemotherapy and radiation begin day one. She has her own media platform. She would launch out, declare herself to be the co-president, and start saying anything she wanted. So Obama has a tough choice. I really don't see at this point how Obama could even possibly be in the race if the Clintons walk away from the ticket.
I like the cancer analogy, Jack. Thank you for that. Let's bring him back, Amr Hamzawi there in London. Would an Obama-Clinton ticket be a guarantee for victory in November? I mean, would that increase the certainty of a Democratic win, do you think?
Well, I guess it's very difficult to speak in any certainty about a Democratic or a Republican win in November 2008. There are a lot of factors which contribute to a highly complex picture, and as was noted earlier, there are some changes which might happen, be it domestically or with regard to foreign policies, that can really change the equation. Let me give you just one example. Imagining that the security situation in Iraq will improve or will be sustained at the current levels, definitely Senator McCain will have a better chance to win in November 2008. Imagining that an economic crisis will happen once again in the U.S., hitting be it specific constituencies, electoral constituencies, or hitting the U.S. economy in general, the Democrats, Obama will have a better chance. So there are a lot of factors which we have to account for before giving any expectation or any analysis for what will happen November 2008. We'll have to wait and see.
Cliff Schechter, why has Hillary Clinton been so slow to concede the race? And how difficult is it going to be to unite the party ahead of the convention?
Well, now that she's said that she will indeed suspend her campaign and very strongly endorse Barack Obama on Saturday, I don't think it will be quite as difficult to unite the party. Where, you know, I disagreed with Jack in that I don't think that she has to be on the ticket. I agree with Jack that they cannot walk away from the party. If the Clintons are not forcefully pushing for this ticket, then Barack Obama will be in trouble. So he's got to make her happy, and he's got to keep her and get her out there to...
Go on, Jack, let's hear from you.
Yeah,
Yes?
Yeah, but you know that my friend in Ohio knows very well that what the Clintons really want is for this ticket to go down so she can have another chance in 2012. So if she's not on this ticket, I would ask him, how in the world do you mobilize them when you know they would want Obama to lose?
All right, let's just quickly stay with you, Jack, for a second.
I don't agree with that.
All right, Jack, let me just come back to you for a second before we move back to Cliff. I mean, Jack, would you see the current divisions within the Democratic Party as being an advantage for the Republicans? I mean, how does McCain capitalize on all the shenanigans we've seen going on over the last couple of months?
Oh, they're huge. I mean, the Democratic Party is divided 6 ways to Sunday. I don't think John McCain has to do much. I think to win this election, he has to do 2 things. Number one, just avoid making crazy statements, avoid losing his temper. I mean, you saw it with the Fox News reporter. He went a little wild yesterday. He's got to avoid that stuff. That could sink him more than anything else. Avoid the crazy talk. Avoid talking about attacking Iran or South Korea. That stuff will frighten people. That's the main thing he has to do. The other thing he has to do is to stay focused on national security and experience, because if in the first week of November Americans believe that security, Iraq terrorism or otherwise, any kind of security is important, if that's salient in the mind of the American voter the first week of November, we know for a fact that it's impossible for Barack Obama to win. So it's all about defining the terrain. Obama has to stick to his economic message, the country's collapsing, depression, et cetera, et cetera. McCain has to stick to national security.
Okay, Amma Hamzawi, a final thought from you, because we're running out of time.
Can I respond to this?
People say John McCain is strong on foreign policy. That's what Jack Berman is saying there. I mean, how would a presidency under McCain change things for the Middle East? Is it just more of the Bush policies, more of the same?
It wouldn't change much. It would mean more of the Bush administration policies, primarily with regard to Iraq, but even with regard to the Arab-Israeli conflict, with regard to issues pertaining to what the current administration framed under the democracy promotion rhetoric and democracy promotion actions. Basically a continuity to what we did see over the last 8 years, and in fact a negative and frightening one, because the outcome and the cost, even for American interests, have been highly negative.
Okay. Cliff Schechter, we're running out of time. A final quick thought from you. What do you think will be the main stumbling block for John McCain ahead of the elections? Very briefly.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to make that point to respond to Jack. The last 4 or 5 primaries, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, John McCain's not running against anybody, and he's only been getting 75% of the vote. So to think that he has this in the bag, I think, is to not really be looking at reality. The truth of the matter is that, I'm going to finish. The truth of the matter is that in John McCain's case, there's a huge number of people, libertarians who are voting for Ron Paul. Bob Barr, a Republican, just jumped in with a big name recognition
we're running out of
as
time.
a libertarian.
Okay, gentlemen, we're running out of time. We have to leave it there. Cliff Schechter in Columbus, Ohio, Jack Berman in Washington, D.C., and Amma Hamzawi there in London. Thank you all very much indeed for joining us. And thank you so much for joining us here on this edition of Inside Story. We, of course, welcome your comments and your suggestions. Please email them to us at insidestory@aljazeera.net. From the whole team here, goodbye for now.